All right, good evening, everyone. Tonight I am joined with author Travis Perry, and he is a special education teacher. And he believes, especially in African American children, should dream bigger and be presented with more opportunities. How are you this evening, Mr. Perry?
I am doing wonderful. Thank you for having me. It's a pleasure and honor to be here. Well, I'm doing great. How about yourself?
I'm doing well. I'm doing well, and thank you so much for agreeing to join me for my author series. And let's just get a little into your latest book, um, which is called is I Am, correct?
I have two. I am. I just released is Imagine That.
Okay, okay. So tell us a little bit more about I Am and what was the inspiration behind that book.
Okay, well, my first book, like as you just said, is entitled I Am, and the inspiration behind that book was mostly my son. I have my kids, both my boys. I have two boys, Triston and Todd. And the main character in I Am is based is based off of my oldest son, Tristan. So it's Tristan the Dinosaur. And they were just really my inspiration and motivation behind that. Just we kind of wanted to show how my wife and I chose to how we choose to raise our kids, things we want to instill in them, just what goes on in our household. Um, and also to just to let my kids know that they can be faced with many situations just throughout the day, and if they handle it this way, everything will work out. So
Okay.
yes, ma'am. So as far and my kids, also my kids at my school. Being that I am a special education teacher, um, it was just important to me to give my kids in the classroom something that would help motivate them as well. So those were the inspirations behind I Am.
Okay. And tell us a little bit more, about your teaching job and how you take your book and relate it and help your children in your classroom.
Absolutely. Yeah, I've been teaching now for about 5 years. I started off as a special education para, and then moved into the special education teacher position. Um, and like I said, that some of my kids were just, the motivation behind that book because some days, um, man, I have kids that deal with situations that we could never think of, and certain things that goes on in the household. And I just felt like my book was an escape for them, and also a way to motivate them, and also make reading enjoyable. Because that's at the end of the day, that's what I want to do. I want to not only teach kids, but also make reading fun. So that's how I
Yes.
try to incorporate my book in the classroom with my children.
And that's important to make it fun for the kids because if it's fun for them, they're more engaged and they're more likely to want to read even more. So that's good. And and what age group is your book targeted toward?
It's targeted more so just the early elementary, first grade, well, K through fifth grade. Being that I am a school teacher, my wife is also a school teacher, so I've created curriculum card that goes along with all of the books. So all of my books have a curriculum card that goes along with them, so that they can be utilized in the classroom. And our curriculum cards target the age group of second to fourth grade, so early elementary.
And that's great. And so why was it important for you to add these curriculum cards, to the book, as an added bonus, um, you know, to help not only the students, but also I'm assuming that it would be giving the teachers, some extra guides to go along with the book. But I'll let you explain that a little more in depth there.
Yes, ma'am, absolutely. So yeah, we just wanted to use those curriculum cards, like I said, so that we could be utilizing the book in the classroom. So that not only is it a fun read, but it also be learning things from it, whether it be standards, whether it be sight words, new words, learning vocabulary for words, Also, I have stopping, discussion points where the teacher can stop and ask the kids a question about this page, or what would you have done in this situation? Just not, like I said, not only to make it fun, but I want kids to be learning, and I think kids learn best when it's interactive. When it's
Yes.
something that they can be a part of, they can answer questions, they can read it or listen to it and say, I heard this, or even, just make connections on things that they've been dealing with, or situations they have as well.
Okay, and let's get into the illustration a little bit. Tell us why you chose a dinosaur.
Um, Honestly, I chose a dinosaur because when I decided that I was going to be a children's book author, I did a lot of research. And one thing that I read is that animals, um, kids just draw more to animals. It
Mhm.
draws parents and children more. And I've always loved dinosaurs. And I sat down with my son and asked him if you were an animal, what type of animal would you be? And he told me a dinosaur. So we went with it.
Oh, that's great. And I will be actually purchasing a copy of your book because my grandson, who's 3, he's in this dinosaur phase. So, so I know that he will enjoy the pictures and, of course, I'll be reading it to him, but I know that he will be excited just seeing the dinosaur on the front cover because right now we have dinosaurs. We got a remote control dinosaur. We got little tiny dinosaurs. We're ready for Easter. There's Easter dinosaur eggs. So there's a lot of dinosaurs going on around here. So that is great. So I most definitely will be purchasing that copy to add to his library. And what has been the most difficult part about this journey, just becoming a self published author and just writing your book?
I would say the most difficult part is not the actual um, writing. It's just the publishing and the printing and the marketing, and just making sure you have the right group of people around your team. Because one thing I realized doing this is that you can't do all of this by yourself. Like you have to have a team. And I did it the first time. I tried to do everything by myself, dealt with the wrong people, lost a lot of money. Nothing turned out the way I wanted it. I was actually to the point where I was like, you know what? I'm not even gonna try to do it no more. But I changed my mind. Said I'm gonna go full throttle with it. Got a good team around me, and everything has been working out. So I think it's just the most difficult part is just making sure um, you have a team around you, making sure you got people around you that's willing to help you.
Yes, that is in this journey. It most definitely, I would agree with you there because just the whole marketing piece is a beast in itself. And if
Yes.
you don't know how to market it, nobody's going to know anything about you. So that's great that you have a team and moving forward. And what tips would you have for a young future upcoming author who just having, down their luck, not feeling like they can push forward and just not believing in themselves?
I would just tell them keep writing, and keep dreaming big. That's really what I like. That's my motto. That's what I like to go off of. Just dream big. Like I said, if you have questions, I would just reach out and ask someone. I'm willing to help. I know it's tons of authors groups on Facebook, Clubhouse. I would say just ask questions. Just because when I first started, I didn't know much. I just kind of got into it. So I would say just ask questions, put yourself in the position to speak with different people, make new connections, and just ask questions.
And just tell us a little bit about your most previous book that you have out um, on the. Is it on Amazon? Where can we find that book at?
Yes, ma'am. Both of my books can be purchased on Amazon, Barnes and Noble, as well as my website, which is bigdreambooks.com. And
Okay.
the latest book that I just released is entitled Imagine That. And that one is more of a fun read. I just kind of did that one to encourage children to continue and to always use their imagination and live, because I feel like all of our goals, things that we inspire to be in life, it once started from our imagination. So if we keep inspiring and encouraging kids to use their imagination on the daily, I think we'll have a lot more successful people in our world.
Yeah, I most definitely agree there. And again, for children, imagination, using their imagination to just escape a lot of things. And like you said, sometimes you have children that are in certain situations, then school is an outlet, reading a book is an outlet because they want to put themselves and imagine themselves somewhere else other than their current situation. That
Yes,
is actually that's good. That is most definitely is good. And tell us where we can find you on social media.
I'm on all social media, Facebook, Instagram, as well as Twitter, at Big Dream Books. And that's at Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. And it is at Big Dream Books on all three panhandles.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
And is there anything else you want to leave us with before we wrap up our interview for today?
Well, no, I would just, like to say thank you again for giving me this opportunity, to, have this conversation with you, talk about my books, um, just talk a little bit about myself. It's always a privilege to do something like this. And I just want to say thank you. And anybody watching, kids or adults, just make sure we always encourage our kids, and just dream big. Keep dreaming big.
Right. I greatly appreciate you joining me this evening, Mr. Perry. Again, I look forward to reading your first book. I am because I most definitely want to share that, and also I'm going to pick up imagination because again, my grandson he's 3, so he has a big imagination and things that he does. So I most definitely will be supporting you, grabbing a copy of your book. So I appreciate you jumping on, joining us this evening. So thanks again. Have a great evening, and I look forward to some of your future work.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
All right. Bye bye.
Bye bye.